I'm Jessica Ann Pressler, and you've tuned into Your Traitor Within, a podcast that exposes the brutal truths of healing, self discovery, and breaking free from relentless patterns of self sabotage. Today on Your Traitor Within, I'm welcoming April Kirkwood, licensed holistic therapist, fashion and beauty ageless advocate, and TV's favorite from The Golden Bachelor and the latest Bachelor in Paradise season. She brings over 25 years in mental health and two master degrees, blending mind, body, and spirit. You've seen her sparkle on screen. Today, you'll meet the grounded healer too, the woman using style, humor, and soul work to help others find their voice. April, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I want to thank you ahead of time for your vulnerability and honesty as you tell your Trader Within story.
Oh my, it's been quite an interesting a journey, but there was a point in my life when I decided to dedicate my entire life to freeing myself from all that has kept me back. And I'm glad I'm still doing it. It's not a one-time hit. It's not a go to a therapist once for 10 sessions that the insurance pays you. And this is a commitment of self will and really staying attached to the goal, which is freedom from fear. And I feel that most of our issues are fear-based.
Mhm.
And so I that is my whole life story now is I am doing that. I am finding my way.
I think it's an important note because healing doesn't happen overnight, as you said. And it's not, it can get messy.
Oh,
But
it's very messy, and also there's no failure. It takes a commitment, and I think people need to realize that we are here to learn lessons.
Mhm.
Lessons are not easy,
Mhm.
and no lesson is a failure. We are here to be creative and to be expansive.
Mhm.
It's a progressive action of a life chosen carefully.
Mhm.
And I, and selfishly on one part, my life is very selfish to my soul.
Mhm.
My soul is my best friend.
Mhm.
That's where I go for counsel. That's where I go when I need direction. And how do I know? When I don't feel good, when I feel failure, excuse me, when I feel fear, guilt,
Mhm.
shame, agitation, jealousy, anger, anything like that is for me a wake-up call.
Well, I
Like,
talk about being mindful, right? So you're talking about
right.
mindful of how you feel. And then when you feel those things, what do you do? How do you?
I stop.
Mhm.
And what I say, and I can't stand it when other people go, you triggered me. You did that. You no, what I think is, wow, what does that mean to me? Why was I upset? What in me still needs healing?
That's right, because as long as you can still be triggered, you still need more healing.
And they maybe have been brought into my world, and I'm going to get a little woo-woo because there are no mistakes in the universe. This talk is not a mistake. Everything's happened. There's a synchronicity. But when somebody comes up, whether it's a short-term relationship, a long-term relationship, there are no mistakes, and it's for my highest growth.
Mhm.
And so I think, wow, what did I need to get out of this?
Mhm.
And then I decide to keep the good stuff because
Mhm.
good stuff happened too. So that's what I do.
And I do agree, it's all learning. Whoever you have contact, whatever is going on, if you're being triggered, if they're being triggered, the important thing is about learning about ourselves because we can't change another person, but we can be empowered with knowledge, self-knowledge,
Right.
self-growth to
And
like,
and that's when it gets tricky when you trigger somebody. A lot of women, ex especially, are like, "Oh my God, I hurt their feelings. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean to." And that you say you're sorry and they're still angry. Well, really, that has nothing to do with you.
I do agree. We all come with our own stuff, right? We all
Right.
Asked, and we're going to talk about that. Let's get to the traitor within for a moment. So, I came up with this concept, which you do know, that in childhood, and other people talk about parts of this, in childhood primarily, but it really could be any time in your life through trauma. We have a piece of us that may have felt, not everyone has one, unsafe, fear. You talked about fear before, fear, the need to love, but mostly I think it's a feeling of feeling safe. And we learned through messaging and modeling, potentially in our childhood, if it's childhood, to actually survive. And
Right.
we learn certain coping skills. And then they work in childhood. But then we will potentially take that along with our fear. Let's just say you're scared of a person is scared of abandonment. We'll throw that one out because it's somewhat common. And we go into our adult relationships and our old coping mechanisms, the part of us that we trusted to help us survive and feel safe, isn't working anymore. And so we have repetitive self-sabotaging behavior using something that once may have worked that no longer works at all. Is that something that speaks to you?
Yes, and also it's something that a lot of us don't even remember. If we're going back to the first 6 years of life, like Sigmund Freud said, really, how much do we remember other than what people told us and pictures we've seen? So how, I mean, it's kind of unfair. So how do we remember what we don't consciously remember? The only way is to start to look at patterns, and the patterns will show us. Mine were my mother and father. My mother had a personality disorder. She was borderline. I'll start with her. How I coped with her was I thought I will be so good and I will be her show horse and I will make her happy. Now we know that's impossible, but I will do everything in my power. Now, my dad, they got divorced early in the 60s, one of the first families ever to get divorced in our community. He got out of there, and I don't blame him. I mean, it was really a tough situation. But so he was like an absentee dad. So it worked for me too. I will be beautiful and I will be perfect and I will win the love of my dad.
So much pressure, though, for a little girl.
Oh, it's unfair. It's ridiculous that it doesn't work. But
Mhm.
it does work a little bit when you come out and you're dancing and you're twirling your baton or whatever. Or my dad would show up to beauty pageants. My dad would show up to everything that was glamorous.
Mhm.
And so for a while, it worked.
Mhm.
And until it didn't work. And I don't think that happened right away either. I think there were little moments when I started to see I can't heal my mother. And my mother never let me run my race. She bred me to be a little show person, really. I mean, I would have to walk every night with a book on my head. We went to everything. I was her light, but I wasn't her savior.
Mhm.
That's
And as you know, we can't save other people. We can,
no,
right?
but kids do. Like if they, as a guidance counselor and a dean of a school, they always think it's their fault. My parents got divorced because maybe I came into the world and they didn't want
Absolutely.
me, or
Yes.
I was bad, or I told daddy once I didn't love him and now he's leaving, which of course is ridiculous. But children have an uncanny sense of self-responsibility.
Mhm.
And
I,
and I don't know why. And so did I. If you really want to know what's wrong with people, ask them about their relationship with their mom and dad.
Mhm.
I
It
just started dating, and if I try not to tell them I'm a therapist or counselor, but I just go, tell me about your mom and dad. And because if they haven't resolved it,
right. So the two questions is tell me about your mom and dad, and then did you do the work?
all right.
Sure.
And
Okay.
if they don't know what the work is, you know they didn't do the work. Or if they don't have some emotional intelligence and IQ about that, and then you decide, and usually women will want to what? Change them. I'll love them enough
That's
and
it.
they'll see their worth because that's what we did with mom and dad
That's what we
or
were
the
taught.
last man.
Society too,
Right.
it's not just that, it's also society.
Right. And we are raised to be caretakers and we are raised to fix people. And then, it started in the 60s when there was Mommy's Little Helpers and they all got drunk or took a Valium to get by until all of a sudden women went into the workplace and could make their own money. And then the whole game shifted. And and now I hope it's coming back to a center. Usually when things collapse, it goes from one extreme to the other. And we hope that we get a beautiful mix of I can care for you, but I'm not responsible for you.
That's very healthy. That's what the message we, of course,
Right.
we want our clients and everyone out there to understand that.
Right. I love you. I do care for you. I want the best for you. I want to enlarge your life. Men, I work mostly with women. I'm pretty blunt to men. So, I mean, I'm pretty blunt to everybody, but the ladies, I can word it a little bit more like, I've been through this. I know what you mean, but I don't know what men mean sometimes. I haven't been through this. If I say I've been through this, they're like, yeah, right. So anyhow, yeah, it started with that. And then one of my coping skills happened when I was 7 or 8. And I think we talked about that with Frankie Valli. He looked like my dad. He was a musician like my dad. And then I decided that he would save me. And of course, he didn't know. I mean, this is not his fault. None of this is really anybody's fault. And so that didn't obviously we would see each other off and on. He on my part too, I wanted to see. I mean, he was going to save me, and then that's was ridiculous. And then in a lot of adult relationships with men, um, there were times I had some healthy aspects of relationships with people, but it was because I started to do a lot of work. And it really started with A Woman's Worth by the book Marianne Williamson years ago. And I had it on a cassette, and I think I played it like 20 times a day until it just integrated into I was reprogramming my mind, and that's what we do with trauma.
Great.
And I
Exactly.
started to do that myself. And that's people, do you find that people just want to get healed right away? I've trauma,
I definitely think people want to. Unfortunately, as you know, it doesn't work like that.
it works in little steps that like in a progressive way, each time you recognize that you're doing something. At first, maybe you hated somebody for 2 years when you're 15. And then as we start to work together, you're 25, you hate him for maybe 6 months or then 5 months. And now I'm down to about, if I get really upset at somebody, I have to get really upset, like really. But the worst case scenario, I'm upset for about maybe an hour. I mean, and it's gone. And the rest of the people, I'm not upset ever.
So there's change.
So
So,
nobody's worth my freedom.
well, that's important.
They're not valuable enough.
You have to have self-worth you have to
Right.
get to a place of self-worth to understand that.
My soul is not is so valuable that you cannot upset me. Also, I kind of live up here like a watcher.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I've learned I don't need to be loud. I don't need to walk, if you've seen me on the show, I don't need to walk in and be the loudest, the funniest, the one who gets the most airtime, the one who's pushing themselves in. I don't need to do that. I want to be large, but
Mhm.
I don't want to be large that way. I
Mhm.
want to be large in my own power.
Mhm.
That's different than being popular or pushy or greedy or I don't want to be that kind of person. My abundance comes from within.
Mhm.
And so that's how I live my whole life. I go in there large, but it looks like to other people that maybe I'm not. I
Because
mean,
it's here, as you said.
yeah, and it doesn't really matter to me. So also when people go through trauma like this and the traitor, I think the other side is, God, I got so many good things. Oh my God, my mother loves me. My dad loved me. My mom loved me. God, I think and people say your life was so hard. I don't see it that way. I really see that this has been a beautiful life and a learning life and a lesson of life. Even say someone that, let's say a child,
Mhm.
they come into this world and they're a real pain in the butt. They do drugs, they don't do anything, but they came in with the knowledge on their soul that they are going to help you learn the lesson of forgiveness.
Mhm.
Now, how magnificent that is that a person would come into a life and become a bad person, become really a bad person, real pain in the neck, so you could learn a lesson.
It's a selfless
That's
person.
pure, going back to the Christ, like that's pure crucifixion. They are crucifying their personality so their soul can do their work to help another soul.
So when you understand that,
Mhm.
and you look at the people around you that may have hurt you or has caused harm, does a overwhelming feeling of
I
forgiveness?
love them all. I really do love everybody. I love everybody. I think that's why I look good at my age. I mean, and because people say, do you sleep well? I sleep like a log. Um, I love everybody, and I really do. And people go, well, yeah, but you had it rough. I don't think it's so. I think these are people who came in to play rotten roles on the stage of my world so that I could grow. And their sacrifice was huge. And I love them. I love them all. I really do love them. I'm gonna cry. I really love them all. And and I pray for them every night. I mean, I love them. I hope they're all here in the room. Um, and people who aren't nice to me, I go, well, they're here to teach me a lesson too. And so, but the core of most people's lives are their family and their spouse, their loved one, whoever they consider the
Mhm.
love of their life. And it's a long life, but it goes fast, as you well know. It's like
Yes.
boom, 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 boom. So, and I took a giant leap of faith, and I said I was put in a gorgeous home by my significant other, Ralph, and I was down in Florida. I had lived there 21 years, him and I off and on. We had another home in Ohio, but I didn't get that home because we weren't legally married. But anyhow, long story short, I thought to myself, I really want to be with my family. Wait a minute, what am I saying? I'm this hoity-toity biatch from South Florida in this big house that I'm lonely? Or am I really an Italian grandma that I want to be up front and center? So I had to look at my ego and say, I don't need that house to be who I am. And I got a beautiful little place. It's not all decorated yet. I don't know. That's another situation. You can't get furniture in any more quickly. But I'm so happy here. I feel like I'm at where I grew up on the lake, in my great grandmother's cottage area. I call this the cottage. But that was a lot for me to give that up because it was a picture of a world that I lived in for years and I adapted to. But that's not who I am.
Mhm.
I'm not a house.
No, that's true.
I'm not a house. I'm really a spiritual being having a life experience. And I've had many houses like that. And I've probably been more poor very many lifetimes. And God knows what else. I've had a few past life regressions. We won't go there because they're quite colorful. Uh,
Would love to hear it one day, though.
for Halloween, you can have me. I will tell you this. Oh, talk about my favorite books. This is called Time to Go. And if you will see underneath here, you'll see Beverly Thomas. When
Mhm.
my mother died, I flew up from Florida. We buried her, blah, blah, blah. Make a long story short. I come back and they moved my room where I teach as a guidance counselor. And, I taught classes. So nothing's there. And I opened this book and there's all these bookshelves. So I said, time to go. I put it in my book bag. I have no idea why. And my aunt's there because I'm obviously upset. And she goes, "Oh my God, did you see this book? It's by Beverly Thomas." That's my mother's name. And the book is We Were Raised on a Farm. And the book ends with, "And one day we'll all be together again back on the farm." And I thought that was one of her messages to me. And I will tell you, I'll be back someday. I know I will. And I'll have pastures rich with green grass, and it goes on and on. And the barnyard will be filled with sounds of animals. But for now, it's time to go. And so the house could be burning down, and other than my dogs, I would take this book. But this happens to me constantly. The more you open up to your spiritual side, the more you let it in. That'll be in my new book too. There is no death, and they're around all the time. And in my life, really around. But I think I'm open, and
Right.
and
You have to be open and notice the signs.
and I notice it. I'm aware, and also I'm trying to raise my frequency so that I'm. And when you do this kind of work, it's not easy. Always. It's not a Disney movie. Of course, Disney movies are awful too. They're all sad. The moms all die. Okay, it's not. So, somewhere over the rainbow statue. Okay, it's not a happy ending all the time as you're going through it. It's not a party. It's not a rock star party. It's not the beautiful night at Taylor Swift concert. But what happens is when you get healed, you're not ever really high, 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 and you're never really low, low, low. You're just kind of like I know with Bachelor, and if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Hmm.
I'm okay.
Hmm.
And I know some people are like,
Hmm.
I have to do this. But and that robs you. Then they own you. Not just Bachelor, I'm talking about anybody. A man, a dog, a job, a car, a house.
Lose time. You lose time.
You
Focus
lose
on that.
the only non-renewable resource we have that we know so far. In fact, now they're finding in science that they did some kind of science research that time, when you think about it, you can make it go backwards. That's a little over my head, but it's quite an interesting concept. And then some people believe that all of our lifetimes are happening at the same time. So I wonder if when you get up one day and you're very sad, like for no reason, you just have the blues. Nothing happened at all, nothing. You can't pinpoint it. I wonder why. What's happening that we're not seeing that is affecting us. And then what do you do with it? You just go with it.
Mhm.
It's okay. And you don't even sometimes over rationalize it. Like, you don't have to rationalize anything. They used to say, that they used to say guilt, grief lasts about a year. Now they're saying grief is now part of my story.
Part of your story. I mean, as you know, I've been a hospice social worker for 18
Oh,
years.
yeah, I forgot about that.
There's no rules. Grief can, in some ways, last forever. I think the best analysis that I heard, which was from one of my patients, one of my widows, actually, they came in and said grief is like carrying a very heavy backpack with a ton of rocks in it, and you're walking with your head down, and you have no energy, and you're just trying to get the next step. And slowly but surely, hopefully, you stand up a little straighter every day. But there are
Right.
times where you bow down again.
And
And
that's how healing is from trauma.
yeah. Yeah. And so, but that could be forever. You just
Right.
need, grief is there and it gets
Well, it,
triggered
if
and it's,
and also we don't have one inner child. We
Mhm.
have tons of inner children. I mean, I can't blame my 4-year-old inner child from being upset with what my 15-year-old inner self witnessed. Or so, I mean, we always say our inner child, but I think there's like a bunch of us inside. Like, there's me at different areas that make me very, very upset, that could the last one was at The Bachelor, the first one. I think I told you about that. Yeah. Did I tell you?
I don't know. No.
No, when I went to the first Bachelor,
Mhm.
um, Ralph had just died. Well, one thing, if you have a husband, you have a cushion. You don't really need that many friends. You don't, you go to dinner with your husband, you talk to your husband, blah, 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 blah. When I went to the first Bachelor, I was without Ralph for only 3 months or so, 4 months. It wasn't very long. And I noticed myself, not until I came home, very, very standoffish from the girls.
Mhm.
I wanted attachment. I wanted to be close to them, but I didn't feel safe close to them. And then I felt lonely without being close to them. And then
Mhm.
I felt so I had and I could tell looking back, I went home and what I did was not pretend it was their fault or anybody else. And I sat with my pain and I thought, why am I so why was I so afraid? Why didn't I let my real self come out? Why was I guarded with them? And that had to do with in high school, I was bullied by girls.
Mhm.
And so that was an area I needed to get healed. So now I did all that work. And I'm like, now I talk to, now if you don't like me, I don't, well, actually everyone pretty much likes me. But, because I'm funny and I love everybody and I hug everybody because I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose now. I'm much more free, but so it happens at any age. So there I am in my early 60s, still actually being triggered by what happened in ninth grade.
And your traitor within is what popped out. The traitor within was trying to protect you. It had great intentions.
Yeah.
It had
And I
blinders
love
on,
that.
right?
Mhm.
If it had blinders on because it was very narrowly focused. It was trying to
Mhm.
keep you safe. That's the job of the traitor with, is really starts off as a friend. It's doing its work. It's a good part of you. I had compassion. I love my traitor, but it's
Right.
not needed anymore. So at that moment, it was coming out at a time you didn't need it.
Right. And it helps you survive. It really does do a job. Some of these little kids are in battered homes and this and that. They have learned skills to survive. But And I learned them in high school. I never went to the bathroom. I never did this. I never did that, blah, 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 blah. But then I'm with these beautiful women who want to be my friend. And I'm a little, I could tell I didn't like it. And when they did say things that were part of the game or being catty or sarcastic, it hit me like you might as well have hit me with a gun. Like, and then
Or, or-
my first impulse, I remember saying to somebody, here we go again.
Interesting.
Here we go again.
Wow.
See, so my trader wanted to say, see, I was right. I've tried to protect you, and you didn't listen to me. You should have never been close to that person. And that was not the case. And then in the second show that I was in, we became all very close. You'll see a different April if you watch it on Hulu.
I'm excited to
I was,
see it,
I
actually.
was crazy. Oh my God.
But you were a more evolved, more healed person.
Right. And I really don't care. Same thing about my little house. I love this place. I really don't care. I just anyone who's going to love me is going to love me, and anyone who doesn't, it's not their job to love me. I have my life and I'm happy. But my whole life is about working on myself.
Mhm.
I don't play pickleball. I don't play golf. I don't do anything. I would much rather, and it sounds boring, but I would be much happier reading a book about the soul
Mhm.
or about myself or, about not myself personally, but about growing. I mean, I gave you this book and I wanted to show I keep a book in my purse all the time so that when I am sitting somewhere, I'm constantly reviewing. I keep the other one, what is it, the 12 or the eight, what is it? Laws. I don't even have it right here. I put it in my guest room, bathroom, so people, I hope they'll
Read
read it.
it. That's a great idea.
But that's who I decided this lifetime to be. This is a spiritual lifetime for me.
I think
So,
it's very important to be true to yourself.
right.
You
Oh, that's another thing. Be truthful. And there's a wild side to me. My favorite thing in the whole freaking
Mhm.
wide world is to make people laugh.
Mhm.
I love to be silly, but my kind of laughter is more like Lucille Ball's. I make people laugh by making fun of myself,
Mhm.
tripping, or making a funny look, or doing something like that, or being silly, never to harm and I had that was my goal since I was 8 years old. And people would say, what is your goal? And it would be to harm nobody. I don't know where I got that. And I want all the listeners to know you are all come into earth with a gift. Like some people appreciate life, some people appreciate whatever. Like my gift was always, life is short, make the most of it. Like I must have, they told me I've died young in many, many lifetimes. So I have this deep, deep resonance for the beauty of living. And some people don't. They have other gifts that I don't have. And I'm like, you really? Yeah, that's cool. But find your gift. You came here with a gift, and you also come here with a job to do. You have a divine blueprint, and you have come here to learn one major thing. Like my aunt and uncle who just left, they both, I did their soul charts, and I interpret your life purpose. And they came in to not be judgmental, both of them, the same life lesson. And
Mhm.
that's all I'm saying about that.
Oh my. So if you would look at your younger self, you said like at different times, because you had, as you said, different inner childs, different
Right.
moments. What would you tell these different ages if looking back?
Uh, well, the first thing I would say is I have you. I have you. I have you in my arms. I have you on my hand. I'm here with you. We're going to walk across that street together, and you're going to be fine. And it's all perfectly making you this great woman you're going to be. You've got this. You have nothing to fear. You've got this. This is like a game. And the game is things are going to come at you, and how are you going to learn to handle them? We got this. This is easy. And besides that, you haven't been told you are powerful.
Mhm.
You can make anything happen if you want. Um, I'm playing a game with my body, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I would say, even your guardian angel, they do say this. If we saw how big our guardian angel is behind us, we would be so arrogant
Mhm.
that I think we have, and I think organized religion taught us that we have no power.
I agree with that.
And I think we are brainwashed to be low worker bees for significant families in our world history that run everything. But again, you can't be mad because you chose to come in to have that experience, maybe to learn to empower yourself.
Do you believe we choose our families also?
Yes. And I used to tell my kids when they get mad at me, whoa, whoa, whoa. They were like two. I go, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. I was here first. So you chose me. And they're like, and I'm like, so we're in this together. Okay. And you didn't come with directions. So I'm trying the best I can. Yeah. I believe I picked my parents. I believe I picked my grandparents. I also believe we travel in tribes to try to help each other. And I also believe I notice now the lineage of my family, we all have women, 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 women. And our lessons are pretty much the same. And so now what I'm working on is breaking the karma of the karmic curse, they call it, of our ancestors, because we really can't get out of the matrix, which they call it. We can't get out of the matrix. You should watch that movie. It's really good I'm sure you've watched it before, but
Favorite.
we can't get out of the matrix of reincarnation until we have no karma, theoretically. But every time we reincarnate, we make more karma. So until we do that, just keep going. So, and the world is supposed to be, this is really, I know, bizarre. is the fractions of the world, the energies are changing. Like people are staying in 3D, which is what we are now. This is 3D. Feel it, touch it, see it, five senses. And then there's 5D that is really what I don't know what it is. It's wonderful. So I have no idea, but I'm trying to do everything I can. And the two things you need to do that is to get rid of your karma, like in other words, don't cause any more karma, get healed, and to have no fear
Mhm.
and to show only love. It's not that hard.
I think no fear for some, though, can be very scary.
It is. It is. That's how I laughed about it. That's not that hard.
It sounds bizarre,
It's,
but
it all sounds
letting
bizarre.
he's letting go of.
Well, and I know when I even go into the hospital, the older I get, even when they would take my blood, I'd get a little afraid. I mean, even the smell of the hospital and getting on the gurney, and I'm just like, "Eh." So I'm definitely not there. To be totally at peace with whatever is happening. One way to do that is to name it. My body is aging. I'm not. My I'm having the feeling of stress. I'm not, because we know feelings don't last. How many seconds do most feelings last? Now, of course, long term become anxiety, but the average feeling, how long does that last? An average feeling? I think
It depends if we keep reinforcing it, because sometimes
well,
you
but
can.
at first, they say it lasts 90 seconds. And after that, whatever we do is our fault. So if we could time it 90 seconds, I'm
Get through
feeling
it.
here, and then let it go. It's just a feeling. It's a cloud. I'm on the beach, and now the cloud is ruining my suntan, and now it's gone. And or we have the choice to now have our ego, or what do you call it, your traitor self, go, see, tried to warn you, this is what I'm here for. I think the traitor, to me, as I'm learning, because I haven't read your book, the traitor kind of reminds me of the ego.
Mhm. It definitely can be part of your ego, for sure.
The one who wants to keep us safe and keep itself moving. Because if you don't have you don't need your ego, then you're all love and all source and all light.
Well, it's Buddhist, right? Isn't it a
Right.
Buddhist?
I know I'm sounding very Buddhist.
Oh. But letting go of the ego, letting go of the self is brings ultimate peace. And
Right. And so and also I think when you start to realize, like, I know the kids or young people, I have, everyone's turning into a kid to me lately. I, I'm like, what is that about? I go, I go to the gym, and some of these guys our age, oh my God, all they do is spend their life at the gym. And then I'd say, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, exercise is good. I watch my weight. I try to eat clean, organic, the whole thing. But what do you do for your soul? How much time do you spend on that? You spend 4 hours at the gym. Do you spend 4 hours on your soul? Do you spend 4 hours reading and learning? Or do you watch the game and place a bet?
Mhm. Yeah.
I would rather spend 1 hour at the gym, 1 hour, maybe meditation, yoga, whatever, reading something, and then another hour learning something about life.
Well, mind, body, and soul is
Right.
connected. I also, although I don't make the time and I've got to make the time, am at a place where you are, and I soul is what I want to nurture the most right now as well.
Well, that's the only thing that lasts. I mean, I'm selfish. That's the only thing that lasts. I'm going with what lasts.
Mhm. Good point.
Duh. I'm going with the great one of the source. I don't even think we know what the source is. I don't think we know what God is. I don't think we know anything about it. I don't think anyone's described it because there is no description yet. Or a rabbi told me once, as the mind of man expands, so will our understanding. And we still don't understand. You know what I mean? I won't even debate a religion because I don't know enough. I
People who come back will say, will have the words aren't there. It's not in the English or whatever language. The closest I could tell you, which is only an eagle thought, a human thought, and actually from a regression I had done,
oh,
it
good. Tell me.
is love. God is love.
Right. It's love. It's pure
Love
love.
that we don't understand, though. It's like this beyond love. It's love.
Right.
Like
It's this engulfment. It's what it's
I've used that word when I describe my regression. I
oh,
was engulfed by him. I
well,
met him.
see, I'm empathic. So that happens to me constantly. When I work in a group, I'll walk up to someone and touch them by accident. I'll go, hi, hon. And something will pop out of my mouth like engulfment, and they'll say, I just said that, or that's what the other facilitator said. So I'm starting to get relaxed in this interview, number one. Number two, I'm starting to just let it flow. So once again, as a lesson to everybody else, when you start to let it flow, just like that happened, it does. That was a pure example.
And you become you.
Right.
You,
And then I become more me. Like I feel more me now than when I started. Right. I feel more relaxed in my skin.
but
Tell,
I, when
go ahead.
during my regression, and I explained it because I have it recorded that God, when I passed from this earth to the next, I don't know what word I really
Realm.
people would understand, but yeah, I was engulfed by his love, and it felt like the most human thing I could say was I was wrapped in a warm
Blanket.
of love. But
Yeah.
some love that is beyond, the closest I could say I felt was probably for my children, the moment when you're holding, but it's not, but it's beyond. Although people will say, and actually a good friend of mine who will say that God is like a father. So I guess I can understand. It felt like, I was loved by a parent, but beyond any.
And I think all the women that I know, and maybe a lot of the men as well, I can't speak for them, is that our children are the closest thing that we have to feeling unconditional
Mhm.
love.
Yeah.
I mean, we just love them. And then our dogs and cats, our pets.
Those are our children too.
Yeah, well, some people say those are our children. Where
Right
are they? Oh, he's
there,
sleeping
I
over
see.
there. Oh my God, that's Puka, which is a mystical name itself. So yeah, I think that it is healing, and I think that we're on a journey, and I think that you're not alone. Every single person I know has a traitor because they have an ego, and we have human parents who we chose to teach us lessons. And the lessons, you can either learn them, and if you don't feel bad. You'll come back again and learn them over again. And that's
Anything,
okay.
anything you'd like to to say before we close?
Yeah, I just want to say that everybody out there is truly perfect in who they are. They have done nothing, you've done nothing wrong. You are here having a human experience. That even being human, the DNA is changing now, but for most of us, the DNA is carbon-based 666, if you know what I mean. It does come in flawed, and it does come in um, trying to make a way and make itself better. We're all just here learning lessons and also have fun because, oh, and even if you don't feel good, make sure you take a moment or two with your glimmers. And what glimmers are moments when good things happen. Like I liked it when she said, and I said the word in golf, and I was like, that's so good. That made me feel so good. I enjoy my glimmers. I don't let them pass. And that, even if you're feeling like crap, that will help you raise your frequency. You are nothing but energy and frequency. The lowest is guilt and shame. The highest is ascension, which I can't tell you what that is, but really it's even above love. What's above love is actually peace.
Mm.
Because when you have love, you're just peaceful all the time. Love, and most people, I love him today, I don't love him. And love is based on a lot of ifs and buts. It's like a
That's
business.
ego again, though.
Right,
That's
that's ego. If you do this for me, then I'll love you. If you never cheat on me, then I'll love you. If you bring home enough money, then I'll love you. If you make love to me three night times a week, then I'll love. That's not love at all. That's a business deal. And so, and also I want everyone to know that most of us don't know what love is. And you cannot give what you do not have. I was told my life purpose is to open the hearts of others. And when I was going through a hard time, somebody said to me, "You will never be able to do that until you open up your own heart." And so but what's the downside? Staying the way you are, buying into the BS, rise above and flow.
I love you. And I love your message.
Thank you. I love life. I love you. And um, feel free to invite me back anytime.
I've missed you. I'm
I
so glad.
missed you too. Well, now I'm doing things a little bit differently. I've learned a lot about Bachelor. I've learned a lot about how life works. So please feel free.
I will. Thank
And
you
God
again.
bless you. Good luck. That book, it's everybody needs it. We're all damaged and we're all beautiful because the damage is part of the growth.